Hey, it's Saturday. Let's go. Woo! I love Saturdays. You know why I love Saturdays? Well, one, it's the weekend. Two, the newest raid boss is going on just a couple hours after this video goes live, around 1 o'clock p.m. Central Time. I'll make a post on YouTube, throw you guys the arena ID and the password if you want to come join us. Come on, it's we got some good stuff going, and got an interesting one this week. But we'll see how the character plays out. But one I've been working on for a while. I'm going into it a lot, but it'll be enjoyable, I think. But let's take care of business first before we get there. We are back in the tournament. We have a very good matchup today. Dare I say, an amazing matchup, actually, between two really awesome characters, and then we got a pretty good result as well. So, yeah, you guys know the deal. It's the tournament, and then we vote between one of the two characters in the episode for the day. But voting's a part of the rules, so this will help sum it up just a little bit more. And the rules are very straightforward as always. Rule 1, this is for fun. Always keep that in mind. Because you can vote for whoever you want. You do not have to vote for who's more likely. If it was up to you, regardless of the situation, if Nintendo approached you right now today and said, you could pick between any character you want. I mean, for example, for this matchup, if you could pick between one of these two characters and we will guarantee it to happen, who would you pick? That's how I want you to vote, alright? Who would you vote for? I don't care if they're a Spirit, I don't care if they're an assist trophy, I don't care if they're a whatever. Who cares? Background character, me costume, doesn't matter. Vote for who you want. But do remember, you only get one vote per person. I do check that when I tally the votes, just to keep that in mind. So if you vote twice, even if it's accidental, I still don't count it. But how do you vote? Simple. Down in the comments, type the name of the character you are voting for. That is easy. You are also allowed to vote for both characters by simply typing the word both to signal you're voting both. Pretty simple. But again, one vote per person. Otherwise, the rest of the rules. This is a double elimination tournament, meaning a character has to lose 2 times before being officially eliminated. And then once we get to the results to determine the winner and loser of each individual matchup, if there happens to be a tie in the voting, we're going to flip a coin on camera. It's the fairest way to break a tie. And then each matchup voting-wise only lasts for just 1 week. So you have 7 days from when the episode first gets uploaded to get your votes in. If your vote comes in after that, it doesn't count. Alright, those are the rules. Let's go to the video. Alright, so we got to go over the results from last week, from last Saturday, and it's a pretty good matchup. We ended up having Amaterasu, right? That's the matchup. Yes, we had Amaterasu from the Okami series taking on Dr. Eggman. Wow, we got a Sonic-filled theme episode here today, don't we? But that was the matchup, and the winner ended up winning pretty convincingly. The winner ended up being Jim Carrey, Dr. Eggman, Dr. Robotnik, Dr. Baldy McNose hair, if you will. Quite a bit of people are like, oh, that'd be great for his ring title name or whatever it might be. So Dr. Eggman won this one very convincingly. 68 votes to just 25 for Amaterasu. So Amy is unfortunately eliminated. Style-wise, moveset, I think there's good potential there, definitely. But I could say the same thing about Dr. Eggman, to be completely honest. So anyway, congrats. Eggman moves on to the next round. We'll be taking on Akira Howard from Astral Chain, but that comes up later, like next week. Okay, pretty soon actually. But yeah, we'll get to that eventually. But anyway, got to move on to the tournament. Where are we at? We're up here, right? Yes. Matchup 156. Good match. Great, amazing matchup. Bandana Dee from the Kirby series, the spear wielder himself, is taking on Sonic's best friend, Sonic's sidekick, the genius fox, Tails. I don't know what was the long intro, but we all know Tails at this point, right? So, Bandana Dee against Tails. Let's do this, shall we? So, Bandana Dee's up first. I'll throw this out there real quick. These are two characters that I really want to see in Smash Bros. And I could also say they're two franchises that I believe deserve another rep. So, I mean, Bandana Dee first party makes a lot of sense, right? I could go over the whole thing. Most of us might expect at least one first party character. Why would it be Bandana Dee, though? Now, I think we're kind of under the impression that maybe Fighter Pass 2 is going to be a bit more fan favorite characters. Even though Nintendo picked the DLC again, it doesn't mean they weren't listening to the community when Fighter Pass 1 was going on, and they're getting all these requests, because like every single day they're getting hundreds, if not thousands of requests for certain characters. And maybe they, with the DLC sales, especially Fighter Pass 1, obviously, what else was there? I mean, Mii costumes, I guess. But from Fighter Pass 1, the DLC sales, they said they were extremely happy with it. And maybe they just said, all right, we're getting all these requests for this character, this character, this character. Bandana Dee, maybe not quite as much as he was for base roster predictions, but he was still, the name was still being thrown around as a character people wanted. And moving back to the build-up to Smash Ultimate, again, was one of the most heavily speculated first-party characters to be joining the roster. And, yeah, it didn't happen. Ended up becoming a spirit that you had to enhance it to get to Bandana Dee. Because it started as a Waddle Dee, and then you enhance it to Bandana. Yeah, okay, easy. But Bandana Waddle Dee, the Kirby series has been around for decades, right? Has Kirby been around for 30 years? Has it been that long, or am I adding a few years? I might be, maybe. But Bandana Dee, again, crowd favorite, and moveset is awesome. I mean, you can pretty much imagine the moveset. Spear user, first and foremost, so you're like, alright, cool, spear user, which is good because we don't have a spear wielder on the roster, so you already got a unique weapon, something that's unique to yourself. So what can you do with the spear? Again, quick thoughts. Neutral special, throw the spear, and maybe you actually would have to go retrieve the spear, or maybe you could just make it an endless spear chucking, even though that might kind of be a little bit spammy. But if you spam the same move, it's gonna decrease in amount of damage that it'll do. So again, just a quick little spear throw would be kind of cool. Smash attacks, got a quick little jab that you could end up doing. You could do like an overhead slam with the spear. You could like twirl it around. Potentially, it could end up maybe reflecting projectiles in a way, as long as it's spinning, if something gets shot at it, boom, bounces right back. That's what reflecting means. But what else you got? The spear copter, twirls it over his head, and he's able to kind of like hover back down. So it's a controllable up special when you're floating back down. So that'd be kind of cool. Again, you got, a little thrust, little jab backwards. It'd be an easy down air. Simple for that. Final Smash, one I absolutely love. Megaton Punch, just punches the ground, but would engulf the stage in a big white light, and just kind of a really cool callback to a certain part of a Kirby game, so it'd be a cool nod. But, I don't know, Bandana Waddle Dee, kind of been always sticking around like my top 10 most wanted characters, and, well, still is. So, I've always been a big fan of the Kirby series growing up. First game I ever played from the Kirby series was on the Game Boy, and then Kirby Pinball. That was the first one I ever played. And then we had ended up getting Kirby's Air Ride for the GameCube. Me and my sisters actually ended up playing that. It was a really fun game. We just messed around, did whatever, and then just more Kirby games came out. Kept playing them, and it's just a character that I've been wanting for a long time. And fingers crossed, someday. Maybe Smash DLC. I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. But maybe someday finally gets into the roster. So I love him. I hope he gets in. But if he gets in, this is weird. I want Shantae to get in at the same time. Because on my channel, they kind of become rivals. So I'm kind of hoping Bandana Dee gets in, Shantae gets in. And then I could just have that matchup in Smash Bros. Which would be kind of cool. Random thought. Just saying, hey. If you've been around the channel for a while, you know the rivalry Bandana Dee and Shantae have, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of you know. Or at least some of you should. But let's move to his opponent. Another character that I do really like potential-wise. Just everything about him. So, Tails, again, like same point for Bandana Waddle Dee. The Kirby series deserves another rep. The Sonic series deserves another rep. And while you could definitely make a very, very strong case for several characters, Tails definitely is in that conversation. Sonic's buddy, his sidekick, just crazy inventor. He's insanely smart. So there's always two ways you could kind of take the move set, and even though I kind of have the same idea with Dr. Eggman, who actually ended up winning, so maybe he could pass on his luck to Tails. We'll end up finding out, but you could do the Tails, the feet on the ground kind of character, or you could end up having him potentially fly around in some of his inventions, maybe, which would be kind of cool. Or, you know, for feet on the ground type of deal. You got to get the tails involved somewhere in there. Probably going to have some punches and kicks. Maybe some spin dashes. Did I say that already? I don't know. I'm just rambling. But the tails, obviously, up special. Just to be able to kind of hover and fly back and forth, which would be awesome. Even use the tails somehow as like a... you could use it as like a back air or whatever. You know, the tails and... You know, you're facing your opponent. I guess your opponent would be behind you if you're using back air. But your opponent's behind you and his tails just kind of like darts out backwards. Simple back air. It would be kind of cool. Then you could get some other weird inventions kind of in the moveset. Let's see. Oh, Energy Ball. That's a cool one. Nice little the projectile attack. Kind of not mess up, but kind of mix up his playstyle a little bit. What is that? The Rapid Tails attack? See, that's what I was thinking with the when I was talking about Bandana Waddle Dee spinning the spear. Tails could have the same thing with the tails. So like side special, just rapidly the tails keep spinning around. Would be kind of cool. Maybe what if? Could he like? I was gonna no, never mind. Scrap that idea. Never mind. But that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, the spin charge down special. Yeah, I mean, come on, he does it in the Sonic game, so probably would have that in Smash Bros. I'm gonna guess. So there might be a tiny bit of similarity between him and Sonic, but again, that's always something they do for DLC characters. They take an existing character on the roster and use that as like the base model, and then just work and improve and differentiate the new character from the base model. And maybe that's what they do with Sonic for Tails. So it could end up working. The moveset, like I was just saying, there's a lot there. Tornado, you know, you could use that for his final smash, flying around in that. There's a lot of cool things. There's still a lot of great Sonic tracks out there as well. There's a lot of great Sonic stages that are still not ripped. I mean, Tails Lab, I mean, that kind of makes a lot of sense for Tails, right? So, would be a fun character. I would love to see him. I mean, going back to the days of that April Fool's joke back in Smash Melee, you know, when Sonic and Tails were unlocked in by defeating 20 Cruel Brawl. I've told you guys that story so many times. Going to school and pretending like everybody else, oh yeah, I totally unlocked him. And then came to find out, yeah, I was just joking. I didn't unlock him. I knew it was fake the whole time. But, you know, it was like, that was like the eye-opening thing, really. And it was kind of like, when you seen that fake image and you're like, at the time we're thinking it's real. And we're just like, wait, I actually want to see this. Like, that was something you never thought of, because at the time Smash Melee was just first-party characters. And then here you have Sonic and Tails in this fake image, and you're like, I never thought about that. And it was just a crazy idea, and pretty much ever since that day when I realized third-party characters could happen in Smash Bros., I've wanted to see Tails. So this one's tough for me to vote for, because like I said, both series I feel really do deserve another rep. On terms of Kirby series, I feel getting Bandana Waddle Dee would just perfectly round out the playable characters. Give me all four. Kirby, Bandana Dee, DDD, and Meta Knight, give me all four. Awesome. But at the same time, why can't Sonic have his little buddy? Why can't he have Tails? So, this one's tough. But when I really do think about it, when it comes down to it, yeah, I think when it comes down to it, I'm gonna go Bandana Waddle Dee, just because I think I've been wanting him just longer. Like I said, he's always in my top. He's always been in my top 10, and hopefully someday he gets in. Hopefully someday Tails gets in too. That'd be awesome. But I think Bandana Waddle Dee gets my voting for this one, kind of by a slim margin, but still has it. So let me know who you guys are voting for down in the comments. Bandana Dee, Tails, or both. They're all good options. So anyway, sneak peek for Monday, because we're wrapping this up. So sneak peek. Matchup 157. Where are we at? 157. Here we go. Matchup 157. We are going to have... yeah, we'll see how this one plays out. But we're going to have Sandbag, the punching bag from Smash Bros. That guy, who came off a very interesting win. I don't know how to put that. We know that situation. But his opponent, Sephiroth from Final Fantasy. So that should be a good matchup. And then we will get the results for Medusa, who was taking on Monster Hunter. So that should be good stuff on Monday. But that's Monday, and today's wrapping up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully we'll catch you on the next one. And in the Raid Boss Arena. Peace out, everybody.